Hi everyone, it's Gemma. Welcome back to Pampered Wolf. Excuse the noise in the background if you can hear it. I'm not quite sure if you're going to be able to hear it yet, but I have had to have a fan in this room. We do not have air conditioning in the UK and it's very, very hot. And I have to film because I've put off filming for so many days previously. I have to do it today. So we're going to have to put up with a little bit of background noise. The fan is whirring right over there. So it's just keeping me cool. Today is going to be slightly different. I'm going to be doing a full face of cream products. I thought we'd try something that's a little bit more fun. I have never done a full face of cream products before. I've always mixed cream products in with those liquid products or powder products. Not gonna do that today. So I have lots of brand new cream products that I've never tried out on my channel before that are brand new in the UK that I want to share my thoughts and feelings on, and I'm gonna mix those with some cream products that I've already tried on my channel before. So let's get on with it because I feel like I've been talking forever. If you are new here, hi, my name's Gemma. I upload 2 to 3 videos here on YouTube every single week. I'm also on Instagram if you fancy checking me out over there, and I would really appreciate it if you haven't done it already. Come and join the Pampered Wolf Pack. Click on that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. So firstly, I am going to prime my eyelids using the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion. This one is in the shade Original. I've used this plenty of times on my channel before. It's a nice creamy consistency, so I'm just going to pop some of that on the lids and then blend that out using my concealer brush from Zoeva. I think it's the 142 brush. So I really like this product. It just makes sure that my eyelids are smooth, any discoloration has disappeared, and it makes my eyeshadow just glide on a lot better, blend out a lot better, and stay intact and stay as vivid as when it first goes on for much, much longer. I find that this is quite a dry cream as well. It's not too creamy, so it doesn't crease on my eyelids. Then we're going to move on to a brand new product. This is from Nars and it is their Radiant Creamy Colour Corrector. I have the shade Light, which is the fairest shade that they do. And the applicator is actually a little brush, which is something that I've not actually seen before. This is actually quite precise and I like this. So you can take any of the excess off on the lid and just go in with the tiniest amount if you want to, and just paint that onto the dark areas, because a colour corrector should only be applied to the discoloration. So I quite like the applicator of that. The brush is quite a stiff brush. I wish it was slightly less stiff and, you know, more movable, more flexible, but I quite like it rather than the normal doe foot applicator. So I'm just tapping that in place using my Zoeva brush. This is blending out beautifully. I thought it would have a little bit more coverage than it does and be more peachy. This has got quite a yellow undertone to it. I was expecting it to be slightly warmer and peachier than it is, because it actually looks quite peachy, but when you blend it out it doesn't look as peachy on the skin. I actually really like that. So it's done exactly what a colour corrector needs to do. I have to go in and cover this over, so it's not one of those natural colour correctors that is going to colour correct your dark circles and you don't have to apply anything over the top because it looks super natural. You can see this on the skin, so I'm definitely going to have to put a concealer over the top to make it my natural skin tone, but it has cancelled out my dark circles and I like the applicator, so it's, you know, it's a pass from me. I like that. While I'm allowing that to dry down, I am going to reach for my Laura Mercier Caviar Sticks. This one is in the shade Au Natural. And I'm just going to place that in the crease and down the edge. Then I'm going to take my brush. You can use your fingers and just blend that out. This is so beautiful, this colour. And super quick to apply. And once I've applied it and it's dried down, it doesn't tend to move, but you've got that time to actually play around with it before it sets, whereas some shadow sticks tend to set so quickly, you have to work so fast before it sets in place, and sometimes you can get in a bit of a mess. I don't find that that is the case with the Laura Mercier Caviar sticks. Then I'm going to add a little bit of rose gold just on the movable lid. So quick and easy, and then go in with the same brush just to blend that out. And finally, I'm going to go in with the Bare Minerals shadow stick. This is in the shade Smoky Chai, and this is my favourite shade out of all the Bare Minerals eyeshadow sticks. I love this. And I'm just going to press that on that outer edge just to add a bit of depth. Super pretty. Oh, really, really lovely. Super, super quick. If I'm ever in a rush, I always go shadow stick. Always, without fail. Let's move on to skin. Now the primer that I'm going to use is perfect for any cream products to sit on top of, but it's not essentially a cream itself, so I am cheating a little bit. This is a product that I've never tried out on my channel before, but I have been trying it out behind the scenes. It's from Shiseido and it's the Synchro Skin Soft Blurring Primer. I really like it, and the reason I like it so much for cream products on the top of is it gives a beautiful blurred base, very smoothing. It's also quite hydrating, but it takes off the shine. So I already have quite a lot of shine on my skin from my natural oils and also from my SPF, which is also quite a hydrating SPF. So this will just take that down a notch. So I've just exposed one of my blemishes. I forgot earlier on, I had to go to the chemist for one of the kids, and I covered this bad boy up with a bit of concealer before I sat down to film. So apologies for that, but it's there. It's saying hi. Let's move on to base, and this is definitely going to cover these up. This is from KVD Vegan Beauty, and it's the Good Apple Foundation Balm. Now, you have to be so sparing with this. I've done a full review on this. If you haven't seen that already, I will link it up here for you. I'm going to apply this with a brush because I feel like it's the best way of getting a really light but really smooth application. And I'm actually not going to dip straight into the product. I've learnt my lesson, so I'm going to take my finger, I'm going to get a tiny bit of the product, and I'm going to place it on the back of my hand. And then when I've got that tiny bit of product, I'm going to go in with my brush and then go into the face and start to buff that in. So when you buff this into the skin, it gives a beautiful finish, and it can actually look quite natural. Even though I'm sure you've all seen the TikTok videos of super full coverage, you can get super full coverage, but you can also get something that looks really quite natural, and I like it. I really do. It's not something that I would reach for on a daily basis, but I do like the feel of this on my skin. It doesn't feel like a thick, heavy cream, even though it's mass coverage if that's what you need. Let's move on to concealer. This concealer I have mentioned on my channel before, but I don't think I've ever applied it on my channel before. It's from Kosas, and it is the Revealer Super Creamy Brightening Concealer. I've gone for the shade 2.5C. Let's just pop some of that here, and definitely some of that here as well. I really love this. I absolutely love this. If you've got dry under eyes and you still want coverage, this is the one that I'd point you towards. I absolutely adore this stuff. It's just heaven in a bottle. It really is. It's just the stuff that dreams are made of. Like I said, if you have really dry under eyes and you haven't found a concealer that works for you yet, I would definitely recommend you give this one a go. I am going to break the rules and set this in place with a bit of powder. I know I said I wasn't going to use any powder today, but hopefully you'll forgive me. I'm only going to use a smidge, just a smidge. There you go, we're done. We are done. Just do the other side. Hang on. And there we go. That's the last time I'll break the rules, I do promise. Okay, let's move on to brows. Before we go into some of the really good new stuff that I want to try out. I've done a video all about how I do my brows with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade. Not going to go into that in this video. If you want to see how I do my brows, I will link it up here for you, and also in the description box if you want to check that out. I'm going to go off camera and do my brows. I'll be right back. Once I've done my brows, I'm going to take exactly the same product, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow, and I'm going to use it as eyeliner. I got this tip from one of my subscribers the other day, and it seriously works. If you are looking for an eyeliner that does not budge in the hot weather, look no further. This is a multi-purpose product, so I'm just going to take exactly the same brush that I use to do my brows, which is the Anastasia Beverly Hills 7B. And I'm going to run it across the top lash line. I absolutely love the smoky effect that gives, and because it's the same shade as my eyebrows, it looks super natural. I really, really like that. I think that is such a great tip, and I just wanted to pass it on. Okay, so I've just added a lick of mascara. For that, I just used the e.l.f. Lash It Loud mascara. It's just so good. For the amount that you pay, you cannot go wrong. I love it. I know mascara is subjective, but you know, I really like it. Let's move on to a bit more Anastasia Beverly Hills. Now, she's come out with a few new items and we're going to use them all in this video. So this first one is the cream bronzer. Now, I've gone for the shade Sun Kissed, which is the fairest of all of the bronzers. Now, I'm sort of semi-wishing that I'd gone for the one up from this. I can't remember the name of it. I will link it in the description box for you, but this one is, it's definitely fair enough for me. It's slightly on the yellowy side, but we're gonna see. Let's just apply it and see how we get on. So first of all, as I would usually do, I'm just gonna go around the perimeter of my face. So you can see it's definitely golden, but golden is not something that I would usually go for. I would usually go for something slightly cooler toned, more of a pinky toned bronzer. It still looks quite nice. I wore this the other night. We've been invited down to some friends for a little drink on Sunday evening, and I just thought quickly, let's just put something on, spruce myself up a bit. And I popped a little bit of this on just to give me that glow. What I will say is I didn't apply a setting spray, and I should have done, because this didn't really set in place and it moved around a little bit. Let's move on to another Anastasia Beverly Hills product. This is one that I love, and you can guess what it is. When I say I love something, you know it's going to be a blush. This is one of the ABH brand new cream stick bronzers. I've gone for the fairest shade again, which is called Latte. Now this, or Latte, however you want to pronounce it, this is a beautiful beige pink. So it's got that lovely earthy tone, whilst not being too brown, it's still got that hint of pink. I really like it. So I'm just going to pop this on with a brush. It's such a pretty colour. Let me just dispense some of that on the other side, because as per usual, gone a little bit heavy-handed with the blush. Now you can apply this directly to the skin, but I prefer not to do that. I prefer to go in with a brush. I just think it's easier to blend that way. And I'm not just talking about this cream blush stick. I'm talking about all cream blush sticks. I tend to prefer to go in with a brush rather than with my fingers. But it's personal preference. Look how beautiful that blends out. And I did go in with quite a lot. I love this. I love the colour as well. It's just lovely. I mean, you know I get giddy about blush anyway, but It's really, really nice and very nice to blend out. It doesn't leave a tacky finish on the surface of the skin, which some cream blushes can, and I really don't like that. This is not one of those. You know, there's no stickiness. I love it. Absolutely love it. Let's move on to the highlighter. I got the shade Pink Diamond because I just thought I would go for something slightly less gold. This is more of a champagne pink. They do have one that's more of a champagne gold. I was gonna go for that one, but I thought I've got really fair skin, so why not go for the fairest shade? So let's try this out. I'm gonna use the same brush that I used for blush. Now this I have completely the opposite feelings to as I do the blush. This is not a bad product by any way, shape or form. Some people are going to love this, but if you can see on my face, this has some really large particles of glitter on, and I went out in this the other night, and by the end of the night all you could see was the glitter. You couldn't see any of the pigment, you could only see the glitter. Everything else had disappeared, and it was a real disappointment. It's not really a highlight, it's a glitter wash, and that is not what I go for. Again, this is not a bad product. For some people, they are going to love this, but having glitter all over my face at the end of the night is not for me. It really isn't. So if you have a look there, it's got the most beautiful shine. It's probably the correct tone for me. Really, really pretty, suits my skin tone. But once you blended it out, the only thing that is left are just the huge particles of glitter. It's a big no from me. And I'm not going to put any more on my skin because I know I'm just going to look like a glitter ball by the end of the day. So I will probably try and take some of that off rather than add more over the rest of my skin. Let's move on to lips. So I was looking through my stash at what I could use because I don't have any new lip products, and I came across my once super trusted Maybelline Superstay Ink Crayon, and I'm going to use the shade Trust Your Gut. So I'm going to line the lip. Such a nice shade. This smells like toffee vanilla. I don't even know if this is still available. Is this still available? Haven't used this for such a long time. Such a nice product. Really, really like it. Used to wear this all the time. This can be a, oh, look at what I've just done. This can be a little bit drying. It is movable until it dries down. So it can be slightly drying. Let's try and put a little bit of the Anastasia Beverly Hills blush over the top. I just love this colour. Oh, yes. Now, I'm not sure it's made for this, but I like it. So that's it for this video, a full face of cream products. It doesn't look too shiny. I've always shied away from a full face of cream products before. I don't think I will in the future. So there have been some loves in this video and one humongous fail that I really don't like. But that's by the by, it's all personal preference when it comes down to makeup at the end of the day. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful in some way and hope to see you all in the next one. Bye everyone.